Today we talk about Snapchat. This show is for everyone working at the coalface. Digital, business, marketing, social. This is At the Coalface with your host, Jason Greenwood. Hello everybody, I'm Jason Greenwood. Welcome to episode 17 of At the Coalface. Today we're going to talk about what makes Snapchat so special. Snapchat most definitely is special. It's one of the fastest growing social networks/platforms. And many of my digital peers, colleagues, friends, and I guess people in my demographic, that sort of middle-aged demographic, are really struggling to understand what makes Snapchat so special, what makes it so unique, what makes it stand out, why is it so hot with the kids, and why is the demographic that is using Snapchat migrating up, where when it started out in 2011, it really started out at that lower end demographic. It was really targeted at teens and preteens, and the ability for them to share both private messages as well as images as well as videos with each other. In really a self-destruct sort of fashion, meaning, and we'll talk about that in a little bit more depth in a few minutes. But what I can say straight out of the gate is, if you don't use Snapchat, if you haven't sort of downloaded it, if you haven't got it from the iTunes store and you haven't put it on your iPhone or your Android phone, and you haven't wrapped your head around it, it would be a very, very smart idea for you to do so as soon as possible. As one of the fastest growing social digital platforms out there, and becoming one of the most common platforms in use today, it's got a rapidly growing audience in it. You can look up any of the stats of Snapchat that get updated very, very regularly across the social and digital media press. The numbers are just staggering. 800 million pictures or something like that shared daily. The number of video minutes shared is phenomenal. The reach is phenomenal. And there are some really key differentiators of this platform that have made it quite innovative, and they continue to innovate on the platform. And one of the best things you can do to stay up to speed with any of these social media platforms and what they're doing, how they're changing, how they're staying up to speed. There's been changes to Twitter in the last month. There's been changes to Instagram and moving to 60-second supported videos on Instagram, and then lots and lots of ongoing changes with Snapchat. So one of the quickest and easiest ways for you to stay, I guess, up to speed with these guys is either to subscribe to their blogs, alternatively subscribe to them or link up with them on Twitter, because they usually make announcements via Twitter whenever they have major changes, any feature changes that they release. They typically make those announcements via Twitter. So sign up for Twitter on Twitter, sign up for Instagram, sign up for notifications basically on Twitter across all of these major platforms so that you can stay in the know with what they're doing and the changes that they're making. But getting back to Snapchat, if you've used it, you'll probably be like most people who are sort of 23, 24 and over. You'll really struggle with it. I'm 41 years old, and when I first started using it, I really struggled with the user interface. I really struggled to sort of see what the hype was all about. I really sort of struggled to see what it added of value versus something like an Instagram, versus something like a Facebook, or versus something like Facebook Messenger, things like that, and other messaging apps that are out there in the marketplace. And when you look at it, it's probably more similar to a WeChat, which is really popular amongst the Chinese community and the foreign language speaking community. it's probably got more in common with that platform than it does in any of the other, I guess, sort of American-centric or English-speaking centric platforms. But some of the things that make it unique is it has a completely different interface model. As we look at our phones, and it's a digital first, it's a mobile first platform by all accounts, absolutely. Similar to Instagram in that regard. There's virtually nothing you can do with Instagram from a desktop or from a laptop. You really have to do everything from a phone or from a mobile device. When you look at Snapchat, because the interface doesn't use the standard swipe to scroll model of all of the other platforms out there, it really stands out because you swipe left and you swipe right to access all of its major functionality. It also has a tremendous amount of features that no other platform offers at the moment, and that is the ability to modify and add some freaky and fun filters to your images, to your videos, puking rainbows and spitting fire like a dragon out of your mouth, and roaring. They had an Easter filter for video, which basically made you look like a screaming bunny rabbit when you applied it. You can apply overlays over your images with text. You can freehand draw on images after you snap them. It goes into an edit mode effectively by default, which allows you to add, as I said, textual messages and other things, other overlays, other filters. It allows you to add emojis. It allows you to do lots and lots of funky sort of things, and they come out with new filters, new overlays, new functionality all of the time that keeps it really, really fresh. So there are filters for video, and the way that it centralizes on your face and automatically does facial recognition so that it can apply those filters to your facial area, even as your face moves in the video. These are all groundbreaking things, and they may not seem like a big deal to you, but in the demographic, especially their sort of original target demographic, which was skewed a bit younger, that's all the rage. They want to apply these funky filters. They want to have fun with it. They want it to be playful, and it's skewed at that sort of preteen, teen, all the way up to sort of university age kids, and now it's skewing even higher, and it's fairly gender neutral. Men and women like it equally, males and females like it equally. And it's a platform that really has grabbed the attention. It's a social media darling. It's grabbed the attention of all the major players in the marketplace, but especially businesses, not so much individual personalities that have really made their way on Snapchat and those individual superstars that maybe started out as being a YouTube star, being a star on other social media platforms, particularly Instagram. It seems like there's been a real cross-pollination of Instagram personalities, Instagram, digital stars, and moving and migrating their audience over to Snapchat. And that brings me to another key difference of Snapchat. Unlike other platforms which make it very, very easy from a search and find perspective to find your friends, to find your contacts, etc. It links into, most of the other platforms link into contacts on your phone. Even Viber does, and various other platforms do as well. Snapchat doesn't do that. It doesn't draw a correlation between any of the contact details that are in your phone, whether it be email addresses, phone numbers, whatever, and also your contacts from other platforms, and automatically pull them into Snapchat. It doesn't do that, and so therefore you really have to use the snap codes, which is very similar to a QR code. You take a photo of yours, a digital photo of your own snap code. You then put that out there on something like an Instagram or any other platform where somebody can take a screenshot of that photograph of yours, of your snap code. Then they can import that into Snapchat, and then all of a sudden they're connected to you. They can also add you directly by your Snapchat username, but they have to have it exact. They have to know exactly what it is, so it doesn't have this autocomplete feature or this auto find feature that most other digital platforms have. And in that sense, it really forces you to do one of two things: either bring in and migrate in just your immediate close friends who may also be on the platform, that you can easily access their username simply by asking them via chat. Just say, hey guys, hey Bob, what is your Snapchat ID username? Give that to me, and then I can paste it directly into Snapchat. Alternatively, really you have to build an audience elsewhere. If you're a personality, if you're an internet personality, or if you're a business, etc., you have to build your audience through other social platforms via your email lists, etc., etc., and then you have to really put your profile out there via those channels, and then it's almost like an opt-in at that point. Then your audience can then choose to opt in and connect with you. So there's definitely that added barrier to entry, but the upside of that and the difficulty of the search and find and connect process that Snapchat has put into place is that, typically speaking, those followers, because it's not as easy to follow you on Snapchat or friend you on Snapchat as it is on Facebook or Instagram or any of the other platforms, which it's very easy to follow and it's also very easy to unfollow. It creates much more sticky, much more engaged audiences in that sense, because they've gone through hell or high water. They've jumped over a lot of hurdles to actually connect with you, and as a result of that, they tend to really want to hear from you. And you'll notice that you'll oftentimes get much better reach and response out of your Snapchat communication than you would out of other platforms, where it's just another in a long laundry list of connections in your feed that then you've got to flip through and you've got to scroll through, and it's easy to scroll past. The final key difference in the way that you communicate to your audience via Snapchat is probably one of the, I guess, biggest differences of all. As opposed to simply having a rolling feed, a scrolling feed, there's only two ways you can communicate with people via Snapchat. That's via sending a message to an individual user on your contact list, whether that be an instant message or whether it be a photo or whether that be a video, and these are time limited. So once once the image comes up or the video comes up, they've got 10 seconds to view the image, and then it's gone, and it's got the self-destruct sequence, and they can't view it again. They get one replay per day without paying extra for that, where they can replay an image or a video if it's sent directly to them or yourself, if someone sends something directly to you. And then they've got what's called stories, Snapchat stories. And what that is it's a running commentary, if you will, of all of the content. You can choose to do this or choose not to. And if you choose, once you create a video or once you create an image, you can choose to add it to your story. And what that does is it makes that story, depending on your settings, available globally across the whole of Snapchat, or available just to your contacts on Snapchat for 24 hours. So what it does is it stitches those together. It stitches all of those images and videos together on a rolling basis as you choose to opt to add them to your story. And then they're available to all of your contacts when they go to the stories page. Then they can see everyone that they're connected to and everyone who's created a story. Those are all able to be replayed over and over again as many times as your contacts want during that 24-hour period, and then they drop off, and then it starts again, and you effectively have another story. And that's probably the most common way that content is being put out, that's being disseminated, because it's really easy. And so you can just, on a rolling basis, every time you snap a new picture, you snap a new video, you just add it to your story, and Snapchat automatically tacks it on to the end of your story on a rolling basis. And then it's consistently and constantly available to your contacts for that 24-hour period. So these are, huge differences in the way that Snapchat has designed their platform to create that level of stickiness. It's also that time and self-destruct sequence of images, videos, etc., and the very time-limited nature. It does two things. One, it creates a tremendous amount of security and confidence in the user base, because they know that, unlike on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, where pretty much your digital footprint, your digital trail, you do something embarrassing, you upload a video of yourself drunk when you're young or something like that, you can delete it, but it sticks. It's much more sticky. It hangs around on the internet forever. It's a long-term footprint that you're keeping out there in the marketplace, and it's easily search and found via Google, etc. And as a result of that, there's not the sense of privacy associated with other platforms that there is with Snapchat. The second key difference of that self-destruct sequence, that time-limited factor of the content on Snapchat that is shared is the fact that it creates a tremendous sense of urgency as well. So an urgency to watch that content or to look at that content before it disappears, especially if it's in a story. You want to see that content. You don't want to miss anything that content is putting out. And especially if you've got, let's say you're promoting a special, let's say you are promoting a special program, let's say you're promoting a special discount coupon code, something like that, or some sort of a giveaway, an opt-in giveaway, a poll, something like that, because it's time limited, and everybody using Snapchat knows that. There's this sense of urgency to always watch content as soon as it's made available on Snapchat so that you don't miss out. So those are some of the real key differences, and you can leverage those differences as a personal brand, as a business, as just a friend communicating with another friend or a colleague or a peer. And so really it behooves you to wrap your head around it. I was reminded of the power and the growth of Snapchat and the upward migration of the demographic in terms of age and gender of Snapchat. Over the last week, I've seen multiple groups of people having discussions about the Snapchat platform. Last night I was out to dinner. There was a table with 4 ladies sitting next to us, literally right, a meter away from us. There was 4 ladies at the table. They probably ranged in age, I would guess, somewhere between late 20s and mid 40s. So there was quite a range represented there. But what looked like probably the eldest lady at the table, I'd say she's maybe in her mid 40s, was literally holding up her phone, showing everyone else at the table how Snapchat worked, and walking them through stories, walking them through how to connect with people and how to find people, walking them through snap codes and how those work. And it was a textbook funny experience. I probably should have taken a photo of her if she would have let me, just to show you guys. But I see this over and over and over again. I don't see this with Facebook. I don't see this with any other platform, because those other platforms are much easier and straightforward to use out of the box, and they use that standard swipe scroll functionality. And it just shows the efforts that people are willing to go through to learn Snapchat. Now, it's highly likely that these ladies, or at least some of them, probably had kids, and their kids are using Snapchat, and they want to stay up with the play. They want to be hip. They want to be cool, and they also want to keep tabs on their kids. And that's another incentive for kids to use Snapchat, because it's so hard to use, and and therefore it's less likely that their parents are going to come on Snapchat and be watching what they do, watching their stories, etc. It's unlikely that they're going to connect with their parents as a result. So it provides an extra layer of, I guess, privacy and that sense of coolness, that cool factor that the cool kids are doing it, but the old fogey adults are not involved. And so that's another attraction to the platform. So all of those things combined together, all of those unique differences, all of those unique innovations that they continue to come out with. The pace of innovation over at Snapchat is just about as fast as you'll find in the space. Twitter is probably one of the slowest, and that's one of the reasons why they've really struggled over the last couple of years. So definitely, it behooves you, if you work in this space, if you work in digital, if you work in social media, if you have a personal brand that you're trying to grow, no matter what way that you would look to potentially use Snapchat, definitely devote some time to it. Maybe what I did, I made it my pretty much my sole social media platform for almost a week, and I just tried to live in the platform, just really just get familiar with it, get familiar with kind of its functionality and its usability and the way it works, and trying to really get used to how it, how the video works on it, and how the overlays work, and all that stuff works. And it does take a little bit of time. If you're 12, 13, 14 years old and your friend shows it to you for even 2 minutes, you're going to pick it up very, very quickly. But trying to think strategically about the way in which you can fit Snapchat into your life from a personal and professional perspective, that's what takes the time. So how does it fit in with your total set, your tool set that is available to you of audiences? And it's a unique audience that's on Snapchat, and you don't want to miss out because it's a rapidly growing audience. So hopefully this has been helpful. Tell me what you think about Snapchat. Tell me about your experiences on Snapchat. Tell me about the engagement levels you're experiencing on Snapchat. Tell me if you hate Snapchat. Tell me whether you've used Snapchat or not, because I bet that a lot of you probably have nothing to do with Snapchat just because maybe you tried it once and it was just too painful, or maybe you haven't used it at all just because it seems like only the kids use it. So look forward to hearing your thoughts, and talk to you soon. Back again for a bit of a bonus segment. Just forgot to mention in that first segment of the this episode that the giveaway for the Ask Gary V book is still on. This is a participating episode, if you will. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And so basically I'm looking for engagement, looking for a conversation, looking for discussion. Likes are great and all that sort of thing. Shares are great, but I'm looking for engagement both with myself and with the other members of the community, and that's what I'm trying to encourage with this giveaway. I'm trying to sort of put a bit of a sweetener in there, put a bit of an encouragement in there for you guys to open up a bit of a dialogue. At the end of the day, I'm trying to make this for you guys. I'm trying to make it contextual. I'm trying to make it relevant, trying to make it beneficial. And the best way for me to do that is to have some feedback and some input from you guys of what you'd like to hear about, what you'd like to discuss, any questions you may have. Put them in the YouTube comments. You can put them on my Facebook page, my public Facebook page for Jason Greenwood. You can leave them for me on Twitter. You can even Instagram them to me if you like. So, or join me on Snapchat. Look forward to connecting with all of you guys on Snapchat as we've just discussed. So, the Ask Gary V book giveaway. This is a participating episode, so I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.